are we doing, chat? We are live.
Hello.
What a week. What a couple weeks. I
Oh
missed
yeah, because
last...
we didn't do one last week.
Yeah, we didn't do one last week, but there's a story behind that. I got a new CRT. It's an HD CRT. And I went on a... I never officially calculated the miles, but I've been saying it was a 1,000-mile odyssey to get it. So... It seems like this year, any hobby I try to get into, like, necessitates car ownership.
I thought you were going to say it's going to shit.
Well, not
Because...
the other hobbies, just gaming.
No, because for me, it's like I'm getting into cars. I'm like getting back into cars and stuff. And then I'm just like, like reading all this news and everything. I'm like, man, the car industry is almost as bad as the video game industry right now.
Well, and it's funny because they've been getting bad at, I think, the same rate, honestly.
It pretty
like
yeah,
same
pretty
time
much.
period, same reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the trip involved taking a bus, hanging out in one of the top 3 worst cities to hang out in for 8 hours. Not in terms of like an entertainment. Like, we're not talking like, oh, you were in Dallas, Texas, and you had nothing to do because you didn't have a car. No, I mean like prime capitals of the U.S. type worst places to hang out. And then
those are some good pictures you were sending me.
yeah, I was in St. Louis, and I described it as like twice the sirens of New York for 4 times the crime. It might have the most like shot out windows of a downtown I've ever been in. And
yeah, that was pretty bad.
I regularly have to go to St. Louis, and one of my hobbies when I'm in downtown St. Louis is I walk around and I see how many COVID signs there are for businesses that closed during COVID, because they're still up. Now, they have been going down. It's getting harder and harder to find them, but I guarantee you, right now, if you go to St. Louis and you go like walk around the downtown, you're gonna find at least one where there's still a sign from like 2021 saying, "Oh, this business is closed."
Be back soon, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think which picture was the best. It was either the waterfront. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, standing under the arch and looking across the Mississippi River at like the rusted out industry.
But I think I have to give it to the was it in front of like the city hall or whatever with the pride flag? It was the faded pride flag.
I posted that on the other Twitter, the faded out pride flag, and the closed city hall that was boarded up with plywood marked from like 1 to 2 years ago. And everything in that city's just dirty. Like, everything's covered in a layer of mildew. But
nature is slowly retaking what is rightfully it.
So yeah, then I took a train, and somehow the bus and the train was like the least annoying part of the day. Because typically you would expect public transit to be the worst part of any travel, but like honestly, I was super glad to be on the train because it's actually a decent experience.
Yeah,
it's not just well, you're glad to not be in St. Louis thing. No, like they treat you like a person on the train. So then we went to Little Rock, and Little Rock's not as bad. It just kind of sucks. I got this HD CRT. It's like a top of the line TV. So like for the year 2000, it's equivalent with like the OLED that I own in terms of like its position in the television industry.
Right.
But it's a 185 fucking pound TV. It's a 32-inch CRT, and it's an HD
Oh my
CRT, so it's
God.
more for the 360 than the Xbox.
Uh-huh.
But I can't wait to play like
What's
Halo 3 on it.
what sort of HD are we talking?
What 1080i,
720p. Oh, 1080i. Oh, okay.
720p 1080i. It looks good. We watched Dune on it. We
Oh
did
yeah.
we watched Dune on the OLED and the CRT at the same time.
Yeah. If I recall, interlace isn't that big of a deal on CRTs.
No.
So like, even when you play your video games and stuff, it should look fine.
You have the
I don't
VTuber model
know.
back. Yeah, that's in the works to try to figure out a way to bring the VTuber back. It'll be on the main
Oh
channel
right.
streams.
Right. 'Cause you
It's
have like a
just
different setup there.
yeah. Listen, guys, I'm streaming with a television that's on the floor because I alone cannot. I don't have a shelf that can hold it, and I can't pick it up. So we're working on it. But yeah, so we drove like 1,000 miles, picked up this TV. It was in a rich guy's basement in Little Rock, Arkansas. The guy lived like on top of a mountain in like a little rich cul-de-sac where the average house price was like $800,000.
Oh wow.
And apparently he just never used it. Bought it new, never really used it.
Oh, that's even better. So it's like,
Yeah, like there's a reason I went and got it.
yeah. Did it come with the remote?
Yeah, and the manual.
Nice.
So like,
Nice.
but he said
So can you
it came to
do?
his house in a crate.
Oh, I can only imagine. So can you do your now you should be able to do your calibrations of the TV from the comfort of your couch.
Yes, I can. But not that I needed to. We were able to like dial in the settings really fast when watching Dune to get it look 1-to-1 with the OLED.
So we shouldn't have the blues anymore, right?
I can still see it kind of happening. That's just something that has to be solved with like a LUT.
Ah, okay.
But either way, my color correction makes it purple. So yeah, that's why I wasn't here last Friday. I was gone for like 4 days.
Nice vacation, right?
Yeah.
When was the last time you actually took a genuine vacation?
Like a genuine vacation?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever taken a genuine vacation. There's always a work component to what I do.
Yeah, I've noticed.
But then yeah, that means that we weren't streaming, and oh boy, things were happening in the games industry. Yeah, so I had to write it down because there was so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Let me just let me get started. We're gonna do instant action. Let's see.
So I never played Battlefront 2. I had Battlefront 1 on the PS2, but I never got a Battlefront 2.
Really? Have you ever played it?
No. I liked Battlefront 1 though. I thought it was a lot of fun.
That's a very common sentiment. So I'm gonna try Camino.
Yeah, I had a realization before the stream started where I'm like, you know, the AI bubble and everything's making my computer components and shit like extremely expensive and all this shit. But it's also killing the AAA games industry. So
Win-win.
yeah, like the bubble can't burst just yet. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, I had to turn off. Thankfully, this is just a PC game ported to console, so you can just turn off the music, unlike a lot of console games. So there's not going to be any copyright fuckery this stream. But that's why there's no like actual Battlefront 2 music playing, because we can't have nice things. So, news.
Yes.
So I started with Valve and the Steam Machine, because that was a good way to start, I think.
Okay. Yeah. We'll start with some of the good news.
Very soft kind of news where, you know, it kind of looks bad, but like in all honesty, let's just say this: I own the Steam Link.
I do too.
So
I thought it was really good.
So
I just never had a use for it.
I am familiar with, shall we say, Valve hardware. They like to take risks making products that they're uncertain, you know, has a use. The AI plays Heroes on the console version? Okay. I'm gonna get hosed because we're playing a shooter, and I'm trying to, like, do a show at the same time. But, yeah, the Steam Machine, you know, they had a winner with the Steam Deck, right? And that changed industry trends. Everybody started, like, wanting to do, like, PC handhelds. Which, like, okay, in fairness, Nintendo kind of came up with pushing the handheld trend, right? But the Steam Machine, you know, played a big part in, like, making it more attractive as just, like, less than a gimmick. Because obviously, Nintendo's been doing, like, handheld gaming forever. Since, like, the Game Boy, you know. So.
Well, also, the other upside to the Steam Deck was that it got a lot more people into Linux.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things that Valve is kind of winning with the Steam Machine, is it's pushing Steam OS, and it's getting people out of the Windows ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's hard to say that's not a win. But what was controversial was the price, basically.
Yeah.
You know, it's an overpriced, underpowered,
it's $1,000, right?
yeah, machine. Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's not their fault. Play as Obi-Wan? Sure. So I'm guessing my side doesn't automatically play as heroes, in which case the instant action on console might be even harder than PC. But
yeah, so obviously one of the biggest issues with the Steam Machine is the price of RAM. And Valve said that they really had no bargaining position, because they were like, if we were to say no or try to negotiate, they just would have stopped talking to us. I think that's the exact quote.
Yeah. And like the biggest legitimate point I've heard is they just shouldn't have released it at all, which I kind of disagree with, because there are people who are now calling like any mini PC a Steam Machine.
Yeah.
Like that is a cultural win to have a product fail, but it still changes the like terminology people use, because that concept, that's a niche that existed before Valve. It's the mini PC.
Yeah.
You know, Apple sells probably the most famous one, which is the Mac Mini.
Yeah. I mean, there was a use case for mini and micro ATX boards.
I think what you're really getting is like the ability to return it if it has problems. You don't get that with a pre-built PC.
Yeah.
So that,
I mean, it's hard to say it shouldn't exist, because it's selling to to like a new. It's selling to
This looks
enthusiasts.
so weird.
Like you don't need to have a Steam machine. Like there are plenty of alternatives. Where there aren't alternatives are the Xbox and PlayStation. It's like if you're in their ecosystem, if you're, part of that thing, you're at the mercy of whatever prices Sony and Microsoft want to slap on those machines and on their, on their everything. Whereas like a Steam machine, it's like, okay, I want to play PC game. I want to play PC games. I don't need to buy a Steam machine. I don't even need to use Steam. And so
Yeah.
it's hard for me to sit here and be like, oh yeah, they shouldn't have released it at all, when it's like, why? It's just more options for consumers.
Yeah, it's viewed as embarrassing because of the price point, but obviously
Well,
it's not their
the
fault.
only
And
well the thing is that the only reason people are thinking it's embarrassing right now is because Sony and Microsoft haven't announced their prices for their consoles. They're already saying the PlayStation 6 is probably going to be like $900.
yeah. So, I felt like the story just went down the lines of, hey, so have you tried to build a PC or looked at parts lately? Because if you
Yeah.
haven't, then you might think that this is bigger than it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But like that was a fun way to start it, because oh boy did it set the stage for what was going to happen next. Let's just say this is more entertaining than Summer Games Fest. So I'm gonna start. I have 3 sections here, and each of these sections has like 2 paragraphs of notes. So I'm gonna start with Xbox layoffs. The entire Xbox situation, because this has been going on for a week or so. That the information started to come out, and then it's just been like
Yeah,
more stuff's come out as time has progressed.
yeah. So like a lot of it started with like a lot of rumors and things like that. It was like even during Summer Games Fest, these rumors were already like starting to circulate. But then, you had Jason Schreier coming out and saying, like, confirming a lot of stuff now, and there's other people confirming shit, and it's gotten. I'm glad you have the notes because I don't remember everything.
Yeah.
This is like every day something new.
Well, and we've gotten like they're telling us when, like, the craziest thing is knowing in a week in advance when the layoffs are expected to happen. So the verbiage they used initially was spin-off, which I think their strategy is they're going to start with, can they buy themselves out? And if not, then can someone else buy them from us?
Yeah.
Before they go for, we're just going to close them down because they're not solvent. But so it was Compulsion Games, who did South of Midnight, Double Fine, which is like Psychonauts. They were kind of funny to look at because I was not familiar with what Double Fine has worked on since 2021.
Yeah. Yeah. What have they
Somehow
done
we
since
won.
2021?
I already forgot the name of the game. They made some game like last year.
I'll look it up.
And then Ninja Theory, who did Hellblade.
Yeah.
Microsoft had to be reminded to advertise for. Because it legitimately seemed like Microsoft was just not gonna like advertise the second Hellblade game before it came out. I think you could legitimately make the case that like they were sabotaged by. I mean, all of these companies were sabotaged by the marketing. We've talked about it before with like Avowed and The Outer Worlds.
Yeah, they did kill. They've actually released a lot of games recently. Double Fine.
And then The most recent thing, this was in like a second batch of news, was Arcane Lion, who were working on the Blade adaptation. Which, like, I told you, I didn't think that game was ever going to come out.
Yeah.
There was like no confidence on my part that there was ever going to be that game was ever going to happen, and not like the Curse of Blade, what have you. I just like, no. It's the same with that Wonder Woman game I told you.
Yeah, from Monolith.
Yeah. Where it's like, yeah, sure, you're working on that. Like, and it's definitely not that your studio's in trouble.
Man. That's wild though, that they're looking to get rid of fucking Arcane. You know, when they got rid of Arcane Austin, it's like, okay, whatever, like, that's not the main studio, blah blah blah. But now they're talking about the actual studio.
Yeah, well, and they got rid of Arcane Austin 2 years ago.
Yeah. Like, I don't get it. They could. Why'd they go with Marvel Blade? They couldn't go with like Prey 2 or like another Dishonored game.
I think what happened was this was part of like Phil Spencer's last ditch effort to, like, all of these companies were doing this for a couple years. Right at the tail end of like the MCU, right before it killed itself, they, and by extension the DCEU, they were contemplating moving the industry back towards a adaptation heavy approach, where game companies make their money by adapting licensed games, and then they use like the extra budget to bankroll their own intellectual properties. And so I think that they were like, it was this situation where Marvel wanted a Blade thing to happen, and they've been unable to get it to happen. And so they were like, sure, we'll give you the game license on the cheap. And it was just, it's a way to like generate revenue, because Microsoft doesn't know how to like make games that people would want to buy.
Yeah, I'm curious how much, because the problem with the licensed games is that you have to pay those licensing fees and everything, and it's like any profits you make first go to the license.
That's not always the case. Sometimes you're paid to make the license thing. It kind of just depends on the state of the thing you're licensing. You do not know how to reload.
But yeah, what I said was I think it's kind of sad, maybe a little bit disrespectful, that they're being forced to make a Marvel Blades game before they get shut down.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not surprising, because that's just one of the trajectories you go on when you're a dying company, is like, you're suddenly, if a company is suddenly doing something like out of the ordinary, they're probably in a financial situation that's not great.
Yeah. It's just weird to see, because it's like they do have IPs. Like, I know Dishonored 2 didn't do that great, but I didn't think the franchise was dead. And Prey was a cult classic. Like, Prey 2 would have been such an easy win for them. That's just the perplexing part.
I don't think Microsoft was confident in that, though. I mean, you got to bear in mind, the way that Microsoft leadership's looking at it, they're like, well, Outer Worlds 2 was supposed to be a guaranteed success. That's a sequel to a beloved game. Why... If that failed, then who's to say? Yeah. If an Outer Worlds sequel can't do well, then how would a Prey sequel ever do well?
That's, oh my god, you're right. You're probably right, but it's also just like rage-inducing that's.
Arcane is already a dead studio. Yeah, that too. It's there's nothing. there's nothing going right there. So, God, this game is surreal with Skyrim. It's like Skyrim dungeon music.
Oh yeah, and Non-Zero did this, right? Or not Jeremy Soule.
No, not Battlefront. Battlefront's just like a hodgepodge of Hans Zimmer music. That's why we can't listen to the Battlefront music.
Okay.
No, the J-Soul games that I've covered in the past, like old games, were the Harry Potter games.
Right. Yeah.
Which I have Prisoner of Azkaban on Xbox. I don't have the other ones. I haven't seen them yet. And then they are wanting to sell Undead Labs, the people behind State of Decay.
Yeah. So I can give some insight into that because I don't think a lot of people even know what happened to that. A lot of people don't even know that studio, like in general. So what happened was State of Decay 1, great success for the most part. They get bought out by Microsoft. They work on and then eventually release State of Decay 2. It kind of gets panned at launch because it's like super buggy and the gameplay is like the game is just not very well polished. And then there comes out a report that the studio was actually like a really toxic work environment, just the usual, like misogyny and all that stuff. And there seems to be merit to those complaints because Microsoft went in with their own HR group and like independent contractors and everything. They went in, they basically cleaned house. They're like, yeah, this studio is really fucked up. They had like massive turnover issues, really bad employee morale. The co-founder eventually left, and yeah, then that's between State of Decay 2 and the announcement of State of Decay 3. They announced the game even though they had nothing to show, but Microsoft wanted them at the show. This is like in 2021, I think. There was nothing really for them to show. And then the game got stuck in development hell. There was because of all the turnover and all the issues and the toxic work environment and everything, allegedly like all of the teams were just like super siloed. So everybody was kind of just going off working on their own thing, and there was like no leadership whatsoever to like create some sort of vision and to get all the different teams on board. So they were all kind of just like spinning their wheels doing like jack shit for like a few years. And then eventually things kind of got better.
Welcome to Xbox. We don't make games.
Yeah, no, it's really it's ironic that like the moment they get bought out by Microsoft, suddenly they're just not a functional studio.
Somehow.
Yeah. And and then they did show something. They showed like gameplay and stuff for State of Decay 3 at Summer Games Fest.
This year?
I'm assuming it's the same situation where it's like they just want to show something so that they can get somebody to buy the studio. But it's not looking good, which is a shame because like I'm currently working on a State of Decay 2 video, and it's like it's a really good game. It's rough around the edges for sure, but it's kind of sad to see like this studio is well, first off, it was sad to hear that like while this game was being developed, there were people who were like, just dealing with some like really shitty situations and stuff like that. But then also, it's sad that State of Decay 3 is probably not going to happen, and even if it does, it's probably going to be dog shit, and that State of Decay 2 is probably going to be the best that we get.
And then they also canceled a fantasy game that IO Interactive was working on.
I didn't even hear about this.
Yeah, so IO Interactive, who recently released the Hitman game, very good time to just like kind of give up on what they're making. For sure. Okay. So that triggered layoffs at IO because they were kind of just expecting that income.
Oh wow. Didn't they work on? Didn't they do the 007 game?
Yeah.
So they had the successful 007 game.
And Microsoft looked at that and said, whoa, we don't make successful games here.
I didn't even know Microsoft owned them.
They don't. They just, it was a situation where, they were paying them to make a fantasy game.
Oh. Oh my god.
Yeah. Microsoft
So
is
you
hosed
have-
to the point that even like companies they don't own, they're causing layoffs because they're just
Good
like
Lord.
clearing house out of this stuff.
That's so bad. So you see these guys manage to make a good 007 game, which in of itself is already like working against the odds there for sure. You see them make something successful that people are really enjoying and stuff, and you go, yeah, we don't want these guys working on the next game that we're going to be releasing. Does Microsoft have money, or does Xbox have money at this point?
Yeah, that's the big debate, isn't it?
Like, man, did Nadella just like turn off the tap? Was he just like, no more money goes to fucking Xbox?
Well,
I'm done with this shit.
I started getting the vibes that Asha Sharma was interim president because it was weird that she was made the head of Xbox. And so it kind of makes more sense that she was sent in to do a bunch of unpopular things, send the AI person in, have them fire everybody, then like appoint whoever you want the actual leader to be.
It's funny because like in my Outer Worlds 2 video, I was saying that she was going to be there to basically hold the gun to like all the studios' heads to be like, you guys are going to use AI, you're going to love it, because we have bigger plans with Microsoft. And I didn't expect she was going to come in and just be the Grim Reaper. She was just going to come in and like just basically kill the whole fucking thing.
Well, it says that Microsoft as a whole was familiar that with the reality at Xbox that they were not making games that people wanted to buy, and that Game Pass was a loss leader.
Yeah, but this does reinforce something that I also said in my Outer Worlds 2 video, where it's like Xbox and Microsoft they're at odds at this point. You have Microsoft, pushing for AI and everything like that, and then in doing so they're pushing up the cost of the consoles and everything, and you got Xbox having to deal with the consequences of that. And it's like, why would you as Microsoft keep that on your books? Why would you have a division of your company taking massive billions of dollars in losses when you could just not have that? Like,
yeah, the way I look at it, the industry is going to the only way to survive is the industry has to do more with less, in the sense of you have to make games that work on like 4 to 8 gigabytes of VRAM now. Yeah. And it's like there's no more 16 plus gigabyte RAM games. There's no more fucking requires SSD 100 gigabytes. Like, this was a terrible time for anybody who was like going all in on Unreal Engine for their studio, because that's not like a sustainable engine for the current situation. And it's like the next generation of console hardware is probably going to be, it has to be parity with the current generation. So you're going to see a degree of stagnation, which you're seeing stagnation for like creative bankruptcy reasons, but you're going to see stagnation out of like economic necessity.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's the way that you have to go if you want to survive. There is no
which, like, it makes me question, why do they even need another console generation right now? Just wait like 2 or 3 more years. Like, the hardware limits, like the RAM shortages and everything, that is gonna go away.
Yeah.
Those companies and stuff, they are scaling up right now, which is probably a terrible idea because um, the whole like RAM and memory, all that is just being driven by the current models, current AI models that are very like heavy on that shit. Once that starts to become more, optimized and everything, the need for all that hardware and stuff is going to go out the window, and suddenly, like, somebody's going to be left holding that bag. And that's why I'm like, why would you even really bother with like trying to release a console in that time period? Like, you're just going to eat that loss.
Yeah, I don't know, it's
It
just
has to just be like optics. Like Microsoft and Xbox both
Xbox and
Xbox and
PlayStation.
Sony, yeah, Xbox and PlayStation think like, oh, we gotta beat the other guy to the punch, or at least show up. It'd be like if they just stopped showing up at like Summer Games Fest.
Right.
I mean, we already saw, and I guess, yeah, like Xbox already, like, whoa, dude, the difference in color here
Yeah.
is a lot more red on on the CRT.
That's the camera
Look,
doing that.
it honestly looks a little bit better on the CRT. It looks kind of washed out.
It is not that fucking red on the actual screen.
Yeah,
FYI.
I know.
The screen and the OLED are like identical in terms of how it looks, so this is
Yeah.
just the usual dialing in the camera. But no, we need PlayStation 6 so that GTA 6, 5, 6 can get 60 FPS on a future generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I didn't even
It's just
make a note of that, but like all the GTA stuff that's going on.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Let's wrap up on Microsoft. We'll do a quick hit on GTA 6. 1,000 layoffs at Xbox, just Xbox, not Microsoft as a whole, are expected.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Microsoft is planning some layoffs too.
Yeah, I saw estimates like 5,000 people.
Yeah. Which
at Microsoft.
Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Microsoft, this will be, I think, this might be the 4th round of layoffs at Microsoft. I know they're already issuing buyouts to employees.
There was the fake news of Obsidian.
Right.
Which
I didn't even hear of.
None of it's, well, here's the thing. None of it's real news. None of this is announced yet. It could all turn out to be nothing. But it's like, we were looking like Obsidian employs less than 300 people. So it's like, do they need to be layoffs, or are they already lean? I would view it as like, yes.
Yeah.
Of course they need layoffs. Somebody has to pay for Avowed.
Yeah. The Outer Worlds too.
Yeah, it's just like they, nothing that they've made was that successful where they just have money to like waste years of dev time on projects that aren't successful. But yeah, GTA 6 finalized the release date, started selling pre-orders, ran out of stock of digital pre-orders.
What?
Yeah, there was like, they ran out of stock of digital pre-orders for a bit.
What? How?
And not only that, scalpers were selling the digital pre-orders on eBay for like $130, and people were buying it.
Oh my god. How much you want to bet the scalpers were actually Rockstar?
I would I would say that's not even that unreasonable of a guess because they've been so greedy in terms of everything else that it
Yeah.
would not surprise me if like they were investigated and it turned out that like it was just a ploy to like bilk people for extra money.
Yeah.
$80 price tag, so not as bad as it could be, but obviously prices are
Listen,
continuing to go up.
it's quintuple A gaming,
Hmm.
right? Like, got to pay the premium on that.
Yeah, I mean, there are realistic simulated balls.
I I just want this fucking game to be out already. I'm so sick of hearing about.
It's, but here's the thing. As annoying as the discourse is, it's only
It's
going to get worse.
Oh well, don't worry. I'm going on a media blackout for like all of November. I'm just, I'm just gonna disappear.
I have a rule for GTA takes. If I'm not absolutely 100% definitively correct, I don't like keep it up. Because like you got to be absolutely correct or they're going to fuck you.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting fucked.
Okay, so Dune Part 3 comes out December 18th, 2026. Okay, that's when I'll reappear.
And then obviously, I guess as part of the Microsoft thing, there's all the Halo news, but like honestly, that's just like general stuff that we'll talk about anyways.
There's
They
more Halo news.
well, they managed to release news without shitting their pants. They managed to announce that they were like, yeah, there's going to be a machinima mode, and we've made improvements to the AI, so it's less brain dead from the demos that you've seen.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, there you go. You didn't announce like that you were gonna like mail bomb 1 in 5 people who bought the premium edition. So I'm not joking. Like every time they announce news, it always comes with the caveat like, "Hey guys, we've made this big improvement. By the way, there's not going to be theater."
Yeah. This time there was no monkey's paw.
Yeah, which like you have to commend, you know.
You have to recognize improvement.
I wish this was like PC where it didn't spawn more people than there are tickets. That means that loss is kind of inevitable. But yeah, I wish this was the most embarrassing thing that was even happening. It only gets worse, guys. It only gets worse. We're going deeper and deeper into hell. The ESA.
Oh.
We got a conclusion to the California thing. So the first thing that's worth mentioning is I'm pretty sure the California bill for Stop Killing Games came out of nowhere without any like consultation with the Stop Killing group. As far as I'm aware, there was no like initiative in the United States to do much. Like that was still very much in the planning phase. And then like suddenly California's like, "Hey, by the way, we're putting a bill up," and it's like, we're not in a position though to like take advantage of that. So California, as always, doing things wrong. Some California state representative jumped the gun and probably got it shot down later down the line as a consequence. Who knows? Maybe it was on purpose, but
that's what I'm thinking. With how many studios and everything are in California,
yeah,
I really would not put it past the industry to have like just paid off the senator or whatever, be like, yeah, just propose this thing so that we can defeat it in court.
So yeah, I even think I said when it was announced, I was like, well, I can't wait to see how the California State Senate messes it up. Granted, my prediction was there was going to be like a really dumb rider on it. There was going to be like, games need an end-of-life plan, but now they also need to be live service when they're when they first come out, or some shit like that. Like, but instead, it kind of got shut down because the ESA went and like made a case for like why the law was a bad idea, which is not surprising. But in it, they said that they made a blunder, and they said that Minecraft private servers are illegal, and that they are suing private server owners. So what actually happened there was they were asked and talking about Minecraft private servers and Call of Duty private servers.
Oh, okay.
And they were saying that that their claim afterwards was that she was saying that Call of Duty private servers are illegal, and that's where the lawsuits are, and that and that Minecraft private servers have been like bad press recently for Microsoft, and they have been because there's been a big
rumor thing.
Well, no, the gambling Minecraft servers. There's been
I didn't hear about these ones.
Just before that announcement, I watched a documentary on people who harass gambling servers for Minecraft. They like go in and do dupe glitches and stuff and like fuck with the server, so that because they're like pushing gambling on kids is the reason. So I just saw that, and then it was funny that she said that like, yeah, these have been bad press for us lately. But inadvertently she also said that Minecraft servers are illegal, which it's like, it doesn't matter that it's a fuck up. Look, here's the deal. If Darkside Phil made a statement that was like, I'm not gonna host a Minecraft server, guys, that's illegal. If Darkside Phil said that, that would be in, you know, Darkside Phil fail compilations for like 6 years minimum. If I said that, you know, instant lolcow status, you know, it's just like, you should throw this in their face every time they speak, because that's I'm sorry, that's a impossibly huge fuck up. You're a game industry representative. The ESA, to give you context, was founded in the 90s in order to stave off regulation of violent video games. That's where the ESRB came from. It was the industry saying, look, we'll regulate the violent content ourselves. Please don't fuck us up. In Congress, because the U.S. Congress was going to pass regulation of violent video games. So you have an ESA representative, a person who represents the business interest of the industry, saying that Minecraft servers are illegal. Microsoft is represented by the ESA. They're in that group. And so to have a representative, you know, we all know Minecraft is successful because of its private servers. There's no fucking Minecraft in 2026 without like years of people posting private servers for their friends or playing on certain private servers. Like, this is a big part of that game is so fucking boring by yourself that there's no that's the sustained legacy of Minecraft. So to have an industry person saying that even if it's a blunder, it's still pretty funny. And should be held over their heads forever. Like, you should be messaging Mojang and Microsoft and being like, how are these pay-to-win gambling servers targeted at kids legal? Your own industry representative says that private servers are illegal. But also, I don't even think she's right. You know, Call of Duty on PC used to come with the software to host servers.
Yes. Well, I'm curious which Call of Duties she's referring to.
Yeah, well, the other thing is that the reason that there's such prolific...
Talking about COD 4, I'm pretty sure COD 4 had...
It had dedicated... They had dedicated server software up until, like, Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
But the reason that Call of Duty private servers are so prolific is, one, it's 4 games that are really old, and 2... if you try to officially play Call of Duty multiplayer from like a few years ago, you are going to die. Your Xbox or whatever you're playing it on is going to explode because they are massively compromised in terms of like network security.
Oh yeah.
That's why the private servers are a thing. It's not a WoW situation where like I mean, there is a WoW situation aspect where it's like some of these games you can only play multiplayer with the private servers because like the official servers just aren't. There's not enough of a presence.
Yeah.
So there is a preservation aspect, but it's not like WoW where it's like, you know, this is an unofficial alternative to the official experience that's like there to rob the original company. Which there's not many WoW private servers that are like that. They were all like Ascension was its own thing. It was taking WoW as a baseline to make something new. Turtle WoW was taking WoW as a baseline to make something new.
Yeah.
But I digress. Point is, it's not a good statement for somebody that's supposed to be representing the industry. I would be upset if I was like in the ESA. I mean, she got the job done. Like the California State Senate shot down the bill, but you know, that was probably going to happen independent of what she said. So like to have that soundbite come from it.
Well, you know, now we get to have that soundbite forever.
It's a very funny soundbite to have too, so. One of their concerns was about like IP rights, which is very funny. It's very funny when like they have to do X because they might lose the IP rights as invoked, because I am not cognizant of a situation where it's like, yeah, they lost the IP because of private servers. Like some of the oldest private servers in gaming, I mean, there's probably an older example, but like of popular games that I can think of is like Doom from 93.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think in 33 years that id Software has lost the IP rights to Doom because people were hosting private servers? It's the same thing with like we can't let people make parody videos on YouTube. Disney might lose the rights to Star Wars if we let that happen. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? In what world does that make sense?
Well, it gets misconstrued from this like idea with trademarks where it's like if you don't enforce it, you can lose it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're talking about intellectual property, not trademark.
Yeah, First off, and second off, even in the cases of trademarks and stuff, it's like that's a whole process and everything. You're not gonna lose your trademark because somebody is making something in their basement, and it's like no, it has to do with like companies and stuff, like how I don't even know who owns the rights to Band-Aid, but like they have to like actively fight other companies who might try to use Band-Aid because it's like no, that's our trademark.
What about stuff like Hunt Down the Freeman? I think like Hunt Down the Freeman is like the clear-cut example of like you can let that shit slide. Nobody's ever going to make the case that Valve doesn't own Half-Life because of this fan project that exists.
Yeah.
You know, and
that would be a very, very hard.
Let it happen, and then let it happen, and then let's see the world.
Let alone like going up against Valve and trying to beat them in court. Like, good fucking luck. And that's the other thing too. It's like, who's going to go up against fucking like Microsoft in court and win over the IP to fucking Call of Duty?
You lost Call of Duty
like
because of
what?
Of this Black Ops 2 private server.
What?
So yeah, the ESA is coping as usual. Man, I swear I've said it before.
They're doing their job, which is to just, you know, fuck the consumers.
Yeah, like I have I've said it before, you know, shit, I said it in the Blades video. Self-regulation doesn't work. You know, it was a funny idea in the 90s that like violent video games the industry could stave off regulation for violent video games. But you see, the reason that was fun was because that was a stupid regulation to begin with. It was downstream of like moral puritanism, and it's like that law should never have existed in the first place. So the ability to prevent the law with self-regulation is a novel solution. Okay. But that said, when we're talking about profit incentives, like the moral calculus changes completely. Where how the fuck is somebody already playing as Darth Maul? Like, I don't get it. Anyways, you got to have a government actually lay down rules, or
Yeah.
people start to abuse them.
I think one of my favorite examples of people like being against or being pro regulation was actually Asmongold. He was saying it won't, like, I don't know if it was like a live stream or something like that. He was like, yeah, I'm kind of in favor of like regulations and stuff when it comes to protecting market freedom, because I was personally like involved with what happens in a truly free market in World of Warcraft. And that was, we all formed cartels and we all started just, set like gouging prices and stuff, because who's going to stop us? It's like that's what a true free market ends up looking like. It's like you need a government to step in and set rules, because
And they can go too far. I think there's a lot of people who in their politics brain assume that everything is like going to be taken to the logical extreme. So it's like, if you have market intervention, then that's practically just fascism. You might as well just round up the Jews at that point. And it's like,
well, that's also like, especially in the United States, that does come from like a somewhat reasonable place, in that like people just do not have trust or faith in their governments. And it's like, I think we are, validated in thinking that in this country, at least.
Yeah, but you can't go full pirate software and be like, all government regulations ever would be bad.
Yeah, you can't throw out the baby with the dishwater. Like,
you got to have like some rules. Like, so like, would you say that like the government regulating gaming would be bad if Microsoft was actually installing bombs and power supplies in the Xboxes and like remotely detonating people's consoles if they like were criticizing Halo? Would you still say that like regulating the games industry is bad, or is there some line somewhere where you would eventually concede that like, okay, we can have like one or two rules?
We got a good super chat. Chuds like me are happy this industry is burning, and I hope everyone who participated in the destruction of it never works again. I said something along those lines the other day with you in Discord, where I was like, on the one hand, I do feel bad for the people who are losing their jobs and stuff, like due to like no fault of their own. Like it's clear that there are like developers at Bethesda who have like a lot of talent, and
just
a lot of
people stuck in the
like
trenches.
Yeah,
who it's like, through the circumstances of life, like they can't be aspirational in running the company because like too much of their time is eaten up by being a father or something. But like,
yeah,
there's people who get victimized by this stuff, and it's like, but that's all the more reason to support it failing, because it's like, you can't have people like Phil Spencer in this industry if you actually think that you care about like the well-being of the developers themselves.
Yeah,
because it's like the reason these people are losing their jobs is because of the just unfettered incompetence that was on display. There's a droidica behind me, isn't there?
Incompetence and just like greed. It's all of the above.
Yeah.
But my argument was basically like, at this point, I just don't care, because all I care about is video games as an art form, right? Like, I want to see good video games made. I want to see people being able to express themselves, and people to be able to identify themselves and express themselves through video games as an art form, as a medium. That is literally antithetical to the industry, to the AAA industry anyways, that we see today. Just full stop. And at this point, I don't care anymore. Like that's my goal. I want to see that. I want to see video games return to that status quo, where
Yep.
people can just like make games and
Yeah.
people can play them and enjoy them freely. Like that's it. That's all I want. And anything that's getting in the way of that is just it's either opposition or collateral damage.
No crying in the casino. Yeah, just like free market absolutists when the free market collapses. How did I instantly die? What the fuck? I am getting jumped in ways that don't happen in PC, that are new and unique.
Like I am prepared to not play video games for the next decade, or not play any new games for the next decade, if it means that afterwards we get to go back to like games being like really fucking good again.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm prepared for that.
there's time
I
periods
have
where
other
people
hobbies.
just there's time periods where people check out of music because of the industry or check out of film. Like,
I mean, yeah, I checked out of like metal for a good 10, 15 years because the genre was basically dead. And then now we have good metal music again. We got good bands and stuff again and stuff. It's just like it's important to have other interests.
I will try to play Separatist when I can. Sorry, I was meaning to after the...
But that's an extreme perspective. Like my fucking backlog is so big right now that I could not buy a new game for the next decade and still not run out of stuff to play.
Yeah, that's why, like, this is a market correction that's probably being triggered by the broader economic recession.
Yeah.
But all the same, like, this is what that looks like, and, you know, it sucks, but you were holding the game developers' jobs hostage before, and then trying to make it the gamers' problem that people were losing their jobs.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's so very clearly the leadership at these corporations.
No, it's like it. I just pointed out before. It's like Prey 2. Why do you not do Prey 2? And then as you point out, well, Avowed and the Outer Worlds 2, and it's just like, oh yeah, of course.
We check on everything so far. All right, cool.
No, I'm sorry. The IO Interactive. But also Prey 2.
Playing some Eversong Forest music. Come join us in EBC. We're like halfway through the expansion. If you wanna kill Illidan, now's the time to
Oh.
join up and level up.
Does somebody in the guild already have dibs on the glaives?
God, you're like you're stepping into the middle of like a year of like a year and a half a year, sorry, of like debate about who should get it. So yeah, the last thing,
I'll arbitrate that argument. Everybody plead their case, and I'll decide who gets to do it.
The notion of somebody deciding itself is controversial. The guild will die. Sony wants to go.
Hold on. I did just want to make a funny observation of they're launching League of Legends Classic.
Yeah. Welcome to the future, everybody. Just endless subversioning of live service games from the 2010s.
The video game industry truly is Groundhog's Day. It's so good. It's so good because it's like So many World of Warcraft people, like players and stuff, they got sick of World of Warcraft. They jumped over to League of Legends. It's
Yeah.
like it's rough. Where do they go from? Where do you go from there?
Where do
Where
you
are they
go after
playing
League?
now? Arc Raiders? No,
Yeah,
Arc Raiders is
off the edge of the bridge.
good.
No, you do marathon, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
This game almost has a walk animation.
When do we get when do we get um what is it? Overwatch 1 classic.
I mean, that is like where things are going, right?
Rainbow Six Siege classic.
Yeah, like the bad part is that they would.
Exactly. It's oh man, it's so good. This industry is so good because it just rewards shitty decision making. This is why I say like games just you need to eventually admit like the game is done. Like we need to move on. This
had
is the
its
final
era.
version.
Yeah.
And not even that, just like we had like it's good. It's finally good. Like World of Warcraft probably should have stopped at Wrath of the Lich King. Let's be real.
No. The cutoff date is Warlords of Draenor, and here's why.
And that's why, like, as a studio, you need to make that decision. Don't leave it up to the audience. Don't leave it up to your fans and stuff. Whatever happened to like leaving your audience wanting? You know, it's like that's kind of like the whole point, like the thing a lot of comedians aim for is like ending on a high note. Leave the audience wanting, because then they're going to come to your next show.
Have you considered that we need quarterly revenue? I mean, the problem is fundamentally the publicly traded corporation. This isn't even a like capitalism bad thing, because like I've been talking to you about opening a new business.
Yeah.
So I'm very much a capitalist. It's more so that you got to think about incentive structures. In a typical business, you're like splitting the revenue based on the percentage that you own. And so it's like all money you make is good money. And so you'll go through boom bust cycles, but that's fine because when you're booming, you're getting the percentage of it. Whereas with publicly traded corporations, you know, people are coming and going constantly. There's speculative trading, and that results in a drive for quarterly returns. But gaming as an industry doesn't make money quarterly. It just really doesn't, because it's a creative industry where things can take years to develop. And so that's why there's a big drive for live service, is that you need a business model that produces revenue on a monthly basis. And it's like the revenue can't be, you know, we sold, you know, 20,000 copies this month at GameStop of our like 2-year-old game or whatever. Actually, that sounds like a really, I mean, what would that be, like 300 grand? So I get, you know what, that can be your business model, but I digress. But yeah, just making gaming companies publicly traded, that's when you get into quarterly revenue. That's when you get into short-term thinking, service solutions, stuff like that. If you change the incentive structure to yearly dividends for, oh fuck, Dagobah. If you change it to yearly dividends, you'd see a massive shift in industry priority. All right, Sony.
Yeah.
As though Sony didn't want to feel left out. The joke I'm gonna make is that like people have been saying that like Nintendo hasn't killed themselves, like they're watching as every other industry. They're just, it's not their turn yet.
Yeah.
Nintendo's probably cooking up something to like get their head in the game for bad news.
They're looking for which oven they want to put their head into.
Good lord. But yeah, so Sony, they're ending production of first and third party physical discs by January of 2028.
Mm.
And this started like like an interesting conversation, because it's like,
It always does.
yeah, it was like, well, what do you care? You know, do you buy new games physically? And it's like, first of all, I don't buy new games. But physical is one of those things where it's like, sure, I don't do it presently. Like I own a lot of older games physically, and like this isn't a game, but I recently bought Dune because I was like, you know what, Dune is a movie that I'm probably gonna like go back to pretty frequently. It makes sense to own a Blu-ray of Dune for me.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if there was a modern game that I liked and it had a physical copy, I'd be like, yeah, sure. If only for I want to put it on my shelf, and like then people can talk about it, or like, you know, I can have it on demand.
Yeah.
But also, the benefit of physical games is you are solidifying digital ownership, because you know what's hard? It's hard to take away someone's digital copy when physical copies exist. So you can't just delete a game from everybody's digital library because it's still physically out there. So like an old example, I can show this. Picked up a physical copy of Alan Wake when it got delisted the first time, because when my channel started, the thing I would do is like cover games that were like being delisted from Steam, or disappearing for one reason or another. That's why I'm like interested in this stuff, is that just I've always been interested in this stuff. But yeah, so I got a physical copy of Alan Wake, and it's like, so even though they delisted it, like, they can't ever really take it away if it existed physically. Whereas, like, in the future, you know, if a game only ever existed digitally, it's a lot harder to preserve it. Are you gone?
Well, I think.
Okay, there you are.
No, I'm here. I think I imagine this. I haven't been following this discourse at all, but I imagine the argument against it is, or against your argument, is that the games are already like there at this point. You buy a physical game and it's just a code in a box,
right?
Or you do get the disc, but there's 100 gigabyte fucking day one patch, and the game like literally just will not work without that patch. So it's like, sure, we can get rid of, you know, you can keep the physical copy, but if we remove the ability to download that patch, well, that sucks, you know. So I think people are looking at that now and being like, well, we're already there, so getting rid of the disk drive, I mean, you know, it'll make the console cheaper.
I'm glad that you believe that. You're hypothetical. But you know, Nintendo has all of their games physical.
Nintendo's
Listen,
different.
They're built different.
Well, Nintendo also doesn't have consoles that can also, you know, be used to mine crypto. So.
But
you know, Nintendo consoles, those are toys. Those aren't even video games.
it's kind of funny. So I was like looking into like game stores, like physical game stores, and then like the next day, Sony announced that like they were ending their physical hardware.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a funny coincidence, because I found out that like there are people who still buy new games physically from like physical game stores.
Yeah, no, I was watching a video and some guy bought like Battlefield 6 boxed new for the Xbox. I was like, whoa, people do that still?
Help,
I mean,
Jesus, help.
The problem
Robot
is
Jesus,
I don't
help!
even...
Robot Jesus, help! I'm being chased by a fucking ketamine addict.
The problem is that like the games that I buy don't even get like physical releases because they're all, you know, like
He's the only
tiny
fucking...
indie.
Yoda is the only unit alive, and he's fucking hiding in the water so nobody can kill him. What the fuck is this? Frogman I am.
Fucking menace.
Bro, that's some BB-8 fucking Battlefront 2017 trolling. He is like, I think he's actually impossible to shoot when he's in the water, because the blasters hit the water and they can't go in.
Who would ever play a gnome in World of Warcraft? The PvP player steps up. PvP Ice Mage gnome.
Yeah, they got the player behavior down, because I'm sure there were actual people who were like, "Oh, I love playing Yoda on Dagobah. I just sit in the water and
and just slice everybody's knees." That's funny.
as if this map could not get worse. I should play Rebels, because they probably get Yoda too. Alright, so this comes off the back of Sony erasing digital content from the library on their storefront. So they very recently just deleted like 550 films from people's libraries, including stuff like Terminator.
Oh. So, like, people bought the films
on PlayStation's like storefront,
and Sony's like, no, thanks for the money though, bro.
Yeah. Listen, it's a licensing issue.
This sounds like a lawsuit.
This is not the first time they've done it either. And it's like, the other thing with the other problem with buying games digitally from Sony is they tend to get hacked a lot.
Yeah.
Like, they have had a disproportionate number of data breaches on their platform. Like, this is one of the oppositions to the whole, like, Sony account for Helldivers thing, was, like, you guys get hacked way too much for us to be, like, giving you our information.
So it's like, man, Sony just...
Probably so horrifying.
This has to be like a left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing type of situation, right? Like, is you're presenting you're showing everybody why this is a bad idea, why getting rid of the disk drive is a bad idea, and it's just, and getting rid of the digital, or getting rid of the physical copies is a bad idea, and it's just like, because of this very instance. I heard rumors that the Xbox Project Helix is also not going to have a disk drive.
Yeah, this is the way they want to push things, and for a reason.
Yeah. Listen, the Xbox, the original Xbox One, it was just ahead of the time.
Oh, they literally cannot shoot you. Okay, they can use explosives. But when I get fucking flashed...
You know, you would think, like, laser beams would be able to penetrate water.
Dagobah, as usual, being a nightmare. Roll, you fuck. Roll. I need my iframes. Yeah, so they have a history of this. They were already, prior to the announcement, repurposing the 300 employee factory into making micro lenses, which are like fingerprint size spy camera type lenses.
Oh.
Yeah, they had a factory in Austria for making the discs, and now they're making like spy gear.
Oh, okay.
Instead-
We are actually living in the cyberpunk universe.
it's like, well, we can't make games for PlayStation anymore. Time to work on like flock cameras, and we're gonna make little bee-sized drones to spy on people.
That's nice. I'm glad.
Listen, George Soros is personally denying me having fun in video games. He took this away from me.
There is a reason why the cyberpunk universe has like pretty much instantly become my favorite sci-fi universe, and it's just because like it literally just feels like that's gonna be our world in like 20 years from now. Especially with all the states that seem to be failing now.
Like New York.
No, we're fine.
You're having to turn your AC down because it'll disrupt your electrical grid to run the AC so high. Everybody talks about the efficiency of urban planning when it's centrally dense, but nobody talks about the electrical constraints. If only there was a solution for generating large amounts of electricity in a small profile with a semi-renewable resource.
Well, they're gonna be building new nuclear power plants in New York.
Yeah, they're gonna.
We do have the oldest running nuclear reactors in the nation. They've been running for like I think 60 years, and they're trying to get a renewal on their licenses to operate for another 20 years. And they're probably gonna get it.
Did New York ever succeed? I mean, they're still there. Depends, like, by what metric are you asking?
It depends who you are.
Okay, he's got force pull. Got it.
No, but by failed states I meant like countries, really. 'Cause, I was watching a documentary today that YouTube decided to recommend to me after I watched a bunch of just like this guy working on cars in his backyard. For whatever reason, it then decided, hey, you should watch this documentary about this British dude going to South Africa.
That's that alt-right pipeline that I've heard about. It starts with you watching car videos about a guy painting his car with house paint and ends with you getting red pilled on South Africa.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was watching that today. And it's one of those things where it's like, I was sitting there hesitating for a bit and like, because it's an hour and a half long. I'm like, do I really want to click on this right now? All I was doing was just watching this dude working on the axle to his fucking Sentra so that he could drift it while I'm eating lunch. And now it's recommending me watch this fucking documentary. And I was just like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. I'll bite. Let me see what the introduction's like. And then I sat there and watched the entire thing in one sitting. I was gonna bounce. After a point, I was like, all right, I'll put this on pause. I'll watch this later. I'll finish watching it tomorrow or something like that. And then I just didn't. Because, like, the longer it went on, the more interesting it got.
What the fuck? Yeah, it's always been interesting to learn about that country.
Yeah, it has history for sure. Which is funny because it's like, I remember in high school learning about it, but like all they would really talk about, it'd be like for 2 days, and it's like, talk about apartheid, Nelson Mandela, and then okay, we're done. And like Nelson Mandela would like barely get mentioned.
Shit, you learned about something from the post-World War II?
Yeah. We went up all the way to 9/11. Unfortunately, we did not watch, we did not get to watch some spicy documentaries about the government doing 9/11.
Shame. I loved when we would watch spicy documentaries about the government doing World War II. They don't want you to know the truth. The government, they're the ones who did World War II. Lame way to end. So yeah, that's all the gaming news I wrote down. If anybody's got anything else they want us to touch on while we're here. We've been streaming for 90.
Yeah, I mean, we got through that news pretty quick, I think. It was good.
Had to write it down because so much.
You start a weekly live stream, and suddenly the industry just starts imploding like super fast.
Yeah, you should have known when Summer Games Fest was that bad.
Yeah, that was, man. It is crazy to think, like, the AAA industry might actually find... Like, I've been waiting for this day for many years now.
Yeah, how many years have people been clickbaiting games industry collapse on YouTube?
Yeah. And, to think it might actually finally be here. Oh, right. I forgot to bring this up. NBC Universal is getting spun off from Comcast. And in the same breath, NBC Universal might be getting into the gaming industry. So I posited that they buy out Xbox.
Who has the money to buy Xbox?
What an ending. I don't even know.
The joke I made was, Xbox wanted to be in TV.
Disney might.
Is Obsidian really getting shit canned by Microsoft? No, that's all a rumor. But this is all rumors. That's why, like, it has as much credibility as all the other stuff, because it's like, this is all alleged from insider sources. None of this is like concrete yet. We're hearing about the announcement of layoffs. Like, so it's like, yeah, Obsidian could get shit canned, or nothing could happen to them. Like, we don't know until they finally announce what's happening.
Yeah.
They're waiting until 4th of July weekend, you know?
It's weird that, it's weird that we're getting this much, like, information about this now. Where the other ones were just like, they just, like, shadow dropped them. They're just like, surprise, 2,000 person layoff.
Bro, I'm getting hosed right now.
But I guess they didn't really shut down that many studios last time.
Yeah, I
Like
think it was
Arcane
mostly
lost
I think it was mostly
Arcane lost
Activision, which is like, yeah, that's their
yeah.
weekly, that's their yearly
Yeah.
cleansing. I swear this cannon is so hard to use on controller. It's like slow. But the rate of fire and the projectile speed is slower than the clone gun.
You should watch Empire of Dust. It's a 2011 documentary about a Chinese company hired to rebuild a road in the Congo. It takes 6 months to transport one truckload of gravel. It is actually crazy. Yeah. I mean, I've been hearing about that for for a very long time about like China going in and like trying to like buy mineral rights and stuff. And I mean, they buy the mineral rights, but then it's just like, how do we actually get the stuff out of the ground? Like, we can build the facilities and stuff, we don't have the workers. So then they try to hire, like locals there, and it just does not work out whatsoever. So then eventually, like, they would be importing like Chinese people. I guess, you commit your social credit score goes too low, and then you get sent to Africa,
Yeah, you get shipped
work the
out.
mines. Yeah. China had to learn the hard way, I guess.
Anytime I get close to the command post, that's when the spawn wave happens.
I've been saying for many years, if I was like a outrageously wealthy, like billionaire, whatever, I would be investing heavily into Africa. I'd just be like buying property, just doing whatever. And it's like, I'm probably not going to see that return on investment, but my children and like, so long as the human race doesn't exterminate itself in the next like 30 years or so, they'll be fucking made. Like, you want to talk about getting in the ground floor or something.
You would think that, but we've still been proven wrong after 300 years of investment. You are not the first colonial person to invest in Africa.
But we have the technology now. We have, like renewable energy and all that stuff.
How does that overcome like malaria? Or the CC fly? Like,
it is, yeah. Well, listen, we'll one day have those. I mean, you were just saying we have like those spy drones and stuff that are the size of a bee. We release a few million of those to wage war against all the insects and stuff over there. It'll be great.
what will happen is like there will be so much electromagnetic radiation in the future in Africa because it's equatorial that like it'll fuck with the drones and they will just replace the insects that are problematic over there. So it's like you better wrap up your operation before nightfall or the flock drones are gonna come out and shred you. Yeah, no, there's just a bunch of autonomous spy drones that are self-replicating that we lost control of.
I guess we should have released the experimental microbe instead. We should have just trusted the science. Sarah Morgan was right all along.
Trust the science. What a crazy plotline, by the way. The government.
The terramorphs are real.
The government that fucked up the entire time in the story. Yeah, we're just gonna trust them to release a microbe on every planet. I trust the UC. They have my best interests at heart.
It is really funny how how much of a non-issue the terramorph threat is in every other aspect except the UC quest line. It's like
I
you'll see heat leeches like everywhere in the game world and stuff, but then nobody like even gives a shit about it until you do the UC quest line, and then after the UC quest line, still nobody gives a shit about it.
It
Like
blew
there
my
should be
mind that
wanted,
terramorphs can even
there should
show
be
up outside of that
posters.
quest.
Yeah, right. There should be posters like after that quest line where it's just like destroy this vermin. Like there should be public service announcements.
No, no, no.
How
The
people are saying,
the
like,
ship technician took care of it.
destroy the lantern flies. They're an invasive species.
No, no, no. The ship technicians, they just took care of it quietly, subtly. It's a metaphor for hantavirus. Hantavirus is one of those things where it's like, yeah, of course nothing came of it. Like, people really went through COVID and like didn't learn anything.
Well, that's the funny thing is that at the end of like during COVID and stuff, especially during like the beginning and stuff, everybody's like, you know, we didn't learn after the last outbreaks and stuff, and we need to relearn all this stuff again. And but at least when this is over, we'll know how to handle the next one. And it's just it's already been forgotten.
No, people did not learn the first time.
Well, I think the issue too is that there was never a consensus drawn on like basically anything related to public policies during COVID, and now it's like all politicized and stuff. So it's sad to think that the next one that could actually, you know, be really bad, there'll be nothing in place because everybody politicized COVID.
Well, you have a bunch of people that are just like sitting around scratching their head wondering, why didn't the hantavirus become an epidemic? And it's like, because that shit used to happen every year. Every year there would be some type of new infectious virus that the WHO would discover. They'd have to quarantine a bunch of people. Yeah, it would make it to like the mainland United States, and then like that would be it. And it's like, why didn't they become epidemics? Because they're not infectious enough. They're not infectious. They have short incubation periods where you go from being infected to being sick, and they're too like debilitating.
Yeah.
Like, the reason that the cold is so effective because you can go to work while you're sick. Yeah. And people do.
I did. I wonder who I gave COVID to.
It's like Ebola.
I mean,
does anybody remember Ebola?
I mean, there's an outbreak right now.
Yeah, there's an outbreak constantly of it. And it doesn't go anywhere because the reason that there are outbreaks of Ebola is because people are filthy as shit in some parts of the world. I remember hopium that the boomers were going to be killed off. Yeah, they were too effective. Listen, people razz the Euros for not having air conditioning, but the reason they don't have air conditioning is so that their old people die every summer. They don't want to admit that the entire reason their system is biased against air conditioning is so that old people die.
So what you're saying is, if we had public health care in this country, you would suddenly start seeing a lot less air conditioners.
Yeah. There is crazy stuff like there was a German hospital that didn't have air conditioning.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so like the nurses are wearing like these vests of like cold packs to stay cool.
What?
And it's like, you guys are dumb.
Yeah, that I can understand, it's like,
A college
yeah, the
dorm not
house.
having AC? Sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But a hospital?
But that's the weekly discourse.
It's too damn hot. Hot over here right
Yeah, we had a heat wave. I was just like, I enjoyed it. You wanna know why? Because I have air conditioning, and then
now.
I can just go out when it's hot and take a walk.
You have air conditioning and blackout curtains. Is it? I saw a headline. I didn't even read the article, or whatever. But it was like people in France were covering their taking chalk and like covering their windows with it. And I'm like, don't these people just have like blinds and curtains? Like why are they taking chalk and scribbling on their windows to block them out?
Will you play Battlefront 1? I have not seen Battlefront 1. Yeah. Listen. Climate change, we're going to get it under control this year. We're finally going to browbeat America into lowering their contribution to climate change even further.
Almost no German hospitals have AC because they are broke and didn't need it. Oof. Oof.
No, there's no such thing as you don't need it, okay? Let's stop with this cope that, like, summer was never hot in Europe. I guarantee there was a fucking week that it was hot. You know why? Because I lived in the Pacific Northwest and it was the same thing. Houses didn't have air conditioning. We suffered through the hot week. You're a hospital. You have to have climate control. Man, we didn't go hard enough in World War II. Maybe a few more firebombs.
American hospitals aren't much better. It really depends on where you live. So, like where I live, we have some of the best hospitals in the nation.
Our hospitals suck,
Actually,
and I've never been to
hospitals in the world.
Our hospitals suck, and I have never been to one that wasn't air conditioned. Are you kidding?
Yeah, but I mean, you live in the part of the world that
is like equatorially equivalent to Tunisia. Guys, this year we're gonna reverse the trend. Climate change will go away. If you voted for Kamala Harris, it wouldn't be scorching hot in Europe right now. So it's kind of your fault.
Don't put that on me. Just for that, I'm going to turn on all the ACs in my house. That's the that's what gets me too, is that
Ewok detected. Bill Youngling.
Like Europeans don't have any air conditioning in their houses, and then like over here in New York, we have 5 in my house.
Yeah, we have central air, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, if you go down south and stuff, like, most people don't even... almost all the houses are built with central air and stuff.
Yeah, it's like only
live
really
here.
old houses that have like window units or
Yeah.
like standalone.
Yeah. Over here, the vast majority of houses do not have central air.
Our reinforcements are thinning.
I have AC. I'm in Europe. Yeah, it's mostly like the UK where it's like illegal to have your window open more than an inch. That is a thing. It's not a universal thing, but there is a thing where like there are people who are just like living life in a house where they can't open the window more than an inch.
What?
We've captured the
Why?
command post.
So the logic is that it's a safety thing. You can't kill yourself by throwing yourself out your window, even if you're on like the second floor, because if you can't open your window more than an inch.
Imperial control.
And so like there's
Why?
there are locks on the window that hold it in place, and there are like authorities that go around and make sure that like you have your window closed.
Is this like the Foxconn factory putting the nets
Yeah.
around the buildings so that the
In
employees stop
in
throwing themselves off
in
the roofs?
fairness, you do have to stop the UK people from killing themselves because their country sounds like a shithole.
Command post is under Imperial control.
There's that shit in New York City too. Yeah, but like on the second floor,
No.
I could buy it if you're in like a 5-story building and you're on the top floor.
I don't think even there. I think that's just like high rises.
We've lost a command post. Fight for it.
I've been in a lot of buildings in New York City. I've never been in a building where the windows didn't open.
Lost control of the command post. A command post for the Empire. Hostile reinforcement count is diminishing. We've lost a command post.
Besides which, it's not to prevent somebody from well, I mean, it'd be to prevent somebody from jumping out the window, not to save that person's life, but to not inconvenience the people who are down below. Except that's kind of irrelevant these days because every street is covered with scaffolding now.
We've lost a command post. Fight for it. A
Yeah,
command
you
post
just get impaled on scaffolding.
The enemy is
Yeah.
losing reinforcements.
Yeah, isn't that because
Fight for it.
there's like a
Command post.
minimum refresh time, but buildings can't afford to actually refresh their facades, so they just put up scaffolding permanently.
A command post is under
Um,
hostile control.
There's a variety of reasons. They actually just recently passed a law that was like you cannot have scaffolding up for I don't even know how long. I think it's like 2 years or something like that. Like some insane number.
Well, they also just
they were
discovered
still-
trash can.
They were still are you kidding me?
I'm always gonna bring up the trash can thing of Mayor Adams coming up to a podium and like showing off what a garbage can.
No, the problem isn't the trash cans. The problem is the waste collector union.
Hey, the problem can't be the unions. Oh, I'm in Vietnam again.
The problem can't be the unions, says the politician who needs the unions as votes.
Yeah.
Another command post for the Republic.
The weird thing about the AC mandate, or like the AC request, is, you know, so people will point out that Texas does the same thing, but Texas is on its own power grid.
Yeah.
New York's on the Eastern power grid. How is it like running out of power?
It isn't.
It's satanic to normalize being uncomfortable in order to deprive you of your comfort.
It actually it really isn't a limitation of power per se, because we can just buy power from like Canada and other states. Like we do that shit all the time. The problem is specifically with New York City is the distribution system. Um, during like really hot days and stuff. I mean, it's probably happening right now. I bet I can turn the news on right now, and they're going to say like, "Oh, the so and so street is shut down right now because lines underground are on fire." And it's just like that's why they tell people to like turn down their ACs and shit. But I guess that's not nearly as sexy as saying we need to conserve electricity because something climate change.
Are you kidding? That's a way cooler reason.
No, it's a reason. That's a valid reason for them to be saying that. But they're gonna frame it as we don't have enough power, and it's like we're like the second richest fucking state in the union. Uh, maybe third. I don't know where does Texas stand? But yeah, the issue isn't the supply. It's just the distribution. Because we're not getting those mandates out here. Now, of course, nobody's going to listen to that in New York City. Like, literally nobody. Not even the government buildings were doing it. Like the City Hall. Somebody went in there and it was like 60 something degrees in there. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Sacrifices for other people.
That's what I love about New York City is that it truly is not a governable city. People are just gonna do whatever the fuck they want to do. That's what always makes it funny about like people making such a big deal about like mayor of New York City and stuff, and it's just like you do realize like he has like no real authority. His job is basically just to get shit on long enough so that he can like build up enough like notoriety to then become like governor or something like that.
They talk about this in The Wire.
But like people out here especially don't understand how New York City works. So you know when Mamdani was getting elected and stuff, everybody out here was naturally like, "Oh my God, he's gonna ruin New York City." I'm like, do you understand how New York City operates with like the boroughs and the councils and all these like. The dude will never be able to get all those people on the same page, even if they belong to his fucking party, because they all have political ambitions as well that involve making him look stupid. So he'll be lucky to get like half of the stuff he wants done, even like half-assed done.
Damn, Clone Commander, did you take care of that droideka?
That's another command post under Republic control.
No, he did not. But yeah, so we were talking about opening a game store.
Mm-hmm.
Although it was also going to be a lounge, because a game store by itself is not a profitable venture. Like, not really.
Yeah.
Not that it can't be, because there are like movie stores and stuff. People do buy physical. Like, that's the big meme with the discourse, is that people absolutely do buy physical. People love having physical collections. Because people more social than you invite people to their house and use them as like conversation starters and being like, look at what I own, you know, like.
Well, it's also ironic that like an industry that is so like merch heavy and stuff, you will not be able to purchase the actual things the industry, like the actual product of the industry. you can buy all those Funko Pops all you want, but yeah, you won't be able to buy that game on a disc.
People
It's
love...
just a little stupid.
Yeah.
Reinforcements are being depleted.
Well, and it's like, what about the limitations of the disc? We have SD cards, you know. Sell it as the premium edition where you get the entire game on an SD card.
Do you know how much flash memory costs these days?
Yeah, somebody brought that up, and their like counterpoint was, well, do you really think it's viable for people to mail out 256 gigabyte NVMEs? And it's like, what the fuck? Nobody said
Nobody
that.
said any. Yeah, nobody said 256 gig NVMEs, but also like, if it became more cost prohibitive, it would force them to start being, using compression again, because apparently this industry has just forgotten what compression is.
All right, this time I'm gonna play the impossible to see faction. EB Games shut down all of their stores across New Zealand. So, when it comes to physical game stores, obviously you have mid-tier franchises, but it is an industry where it's like, yeah, GameStop is not as successful at it because it doesn't work at scale. You need to be reactive to the local conditions of the market. Whereas, like, you can't just have, like, an edict from on high, which is what GameStop relies on with having such a large, like, network of management.
Control the command post.
Yeah.
Enemy reinforcements are declining. We can't afford to keep losing command posts. The enemy is in control of another command post.
So, I'd love to run a lounge, though. Just more emphasis on people playing games, and less on the consumerism. Because we were talking, like, interior design aesthetic. Oh, holy shit, that was Boba Fett. We were talking interior design aesthetics.
Yeah.
It was like, we have to do something counter to, like, the millennial, like, Nintendo characters on everything design.
And I propose just banning Nintendo.
Yeah. Which, kind of ironic given recent news.
Yeah,
Nintendo might be the only new game. Yeah, they might be the only
Yeah.
new game company that's we'd be selling products for. We'd be selling $80 copies of Mario Kart.
Man, imagine buying like collector's editions for games, and then it's just like, I mean, I guess that's what they do already, where they just give you the fucking code on a card.
Yeah, and you get it 5 days early, which, I'm sorry, can we talk about why is it that every fucking Halo account like has access to the new thing like a month early? I don't
People
quite
playing
understand.
the CE make.
Yeah,
CE make 2.
It's worse than fucking Starfield. You like so you have to like suck the dick of 343, and then like the reward is that you get an early copy of CMake.
Man, what an awful. That's just awful all around.
Yeah, but it's like, so that's why you can't trust any of those people, because it's like there's an incentive to be positive.
I think I would rather be outside mowing lawns right now in this 110-degree weather than
Sucking dick to
do
play
what you
CMake.
Yeah. Like, after a point, you surely you just need to have some standards, right? Like, real jobs aren't that scary, guys.
One thing I was wondering was, could you get away with buying a mini PC and putting a bunch of emulators on it and like renting that out in your lounge space instead of having to buy like 2 or 3 of every console that's ever existed? Because that's a lot of money.
Depends on if anybody's going to report you. Depends on how much money you're making off of it.
So I would assume like the safe bet would be just do emulators for like Sega consoles and like Xbox, and then
Yeah.
like have the
Definitely,
physical. Definitely not
def
Nintendo.
yeah, definitely don't do it for Nintendo. We're only going to do it to companies that don't have the ability to legally react. So like we'll obviously not do anything with Rockstar. Like
Oh, you're gonna put it down to like you can't even emulate like GTA.
yeah.
I was just thinking, where on the spectrum of real job does video essays fall? I know it's very unpopular with people who aren't content creators to hear that being a content creator is difficult, but being a content creator is difficult.
We've lost control of the command post. Hostiles have captured a command post.
One of my favorite features of YouTube is that they spotlight like tiny no following channels. It's just like if you want to see how successful you would be if you just turned on OBS and started streaming, or like just shit out a video essay about I can't even think of like what random video essays have I been getting linked lately.
We've lost control of the command post.
But yeah, it's not like
The command post.
an easy job. I'm trying to think in my life of like easy jobs. Like
We can't afford
I think the easiest thing I ever did was probably cashiering.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is definitely the hardest job I've ever had. The only benefit to it is that I don't have a boss.
Yeah.
And I make my own schedule. Granted, I did that in my last job too. But like, if it's nice outside, I can just be like, I'm gonna go do some outside stuff, and then I'll do work tonight. But that's just being self-employed, really. Like, I can do that with a lot of different things.
We captured a command post.
And so can you.
So can you.
I was having this discussion recently where I was saying that the difficulty with being an entrepreneur, having your own business and stuff, it's not the ideas, it's not the day-to-day, it's not the running of the business and stuff like that. It's the sleepless nights. It's the waking up in the middle of the night and being like, holy shit, you know, I need to be working on this video, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing that, I don't have enough money coming in, is this going to get copyright straight? Like, and that just comes with the territory of being like a business owner, of being self-employed and stuff, of not having the safety net of like, oh, this is going to be the boss's issue, this isn't going to be my issue.
Return to the battle immediately.
Yeah, you say it's the boss's issue, and then you take off your editor hat, you put on the boss hat, and it's like, fuck! Like lately, I found out, well, I refound out, I've known this for a bit, I don't have my Fallout 76 footage from the Fallout 76 video.
Oh, really?
I still have, like, the Morrowind era footage, but,
What happened to your 76 footage?
I'm not entirely sure. Because I have a hard drive that says it has this Fallout 76 footage on it, but it has, like, a few proxies of the footage, but the originals don't seem to be there. And so it's just like, there was probably just some error with how I was backing things up.
Yeah.
The workflow that I was doing and what have you. So it's like, if I want to talk about Fallout 76 now, I have to, like,
Fallout
actually
76.
I have to actually go get the footage.
Do we do a return to Fallout 76? We could do a live stream of that.
Yeah, you could stream it, but yeah.
Is Fallout 76 as bad as I remember it?
So yeah, it's just like I can't say that's someone else's problem because it's like I'm the person who is responsible for maintaining the data, and like I've done a good job of it. I when I did the Oblivion audio remaster, that was possible because I had all of those old files backed up on
Yeah.
a hard drive.
Yeah, the only games, the only projects that I don't have the files for are, I think, my original Oblivion video and my original Fallout New Vegas video. I think everything beyond that I have all the source material for.
Red World, we go hard.
Actually, recently, because I had to throw The Outer Worlds 2 into cold storage, um, I put it in a hard drive that in my documents it said like, oh, this has, like all this footage and stuff. I plug it in and it's just like not even reading the drive, and I was like, oh, did I just lose a drive? And then I realized that it's actually because I have multiples, so I'll have the drive and then I have a backup of that drive,
Mm.
which is very expensive, but uh, worth it in order to have redundancy. It's the least I can do since I'm just like keeping these drives in a box. It's a very nice box. It's padded and everything. It's specifically for drives, but it's nevertheless, I'm doing the thing that you're not supposed to do when it comes to archiving.
Yeah, it's a lot of data, so it's not easy to. You just throw it up on like a cloud service.
Yeah. Yeah, until they start offering like 100 terabytes for like $20 a month, I'm just gonna have to do it myself.
Never ever. There's this transformative new technology out there called AI.
Yeah. Well, the AI will be able to just remake my footage. That's gonna be the solution. I'll just tell it. Uh, I think that would be a lot of prompt engineering.
Well, it's just a new skill set that you're going to develop that you can transfer into a professional career of prompt engineering. Bro, what the fuck was that? I just see fucking Mace Windu's face show up in between me and the character model.
When did this game come out?
2005.
Man. What we were able to achieve back in 2005.
We lost so much soul. No, like the fascinating thing about Star Wars was that it had so many like games that were like 8 out of 10s. Where it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't look amazing, but like, it's got all the gameplay, and I think a big part of it was that they just inherited a bunch of aesthetics that they had to recreate rather than making stuff from scratch. So
Yeah.
it's kind of I was thinking about like remakes, for example. Like, why are they so graphically cohesive? And it's because it's a bunch of people in an assembly line who aren't talking to each other. Whereas when a game is originally made, you have an art director who has a vision for what the assets can cohesively tie together how everything looks. And even when you're adapting something like Star Wars, you still have that one art director who's, putting everything together for how they think it should look.
Yeah.
Whereas with a remake, it's just like I am making the Spriggan model today, and it's like When Bethesda made Spriggans, they reused textures from like the ground and the earth and the trees and stuff, so it would look like it was an extension of the natural world. When Oblivion Remaster shows us a Spriggan, it's just like it looks like an avowed model in a game that like has a hyper realistic forest floor, and so like there's no cohesion between the natural world and the entity that's supposed to represent the natural world. Like that's what you end up with when you don't have that artistic cohesion.
That's what I like about Dune Awakening, is that it's an adaptation of an adaptation, but they do it well. Especially like the art style and stuff. They adopt the film's art style, but the video game has way more assets than the movies do. So eventually they have to take creative liberties, and they do it in such a way where it's just like it really is seamless with like the film art style and stuff. One
Yeah,
of
and
the things they really fucking nailed with that game.
you get to look at what all that stuff looks like in greater detail too, which is nice.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like just something that would be one scene in one of the films,
Yeah.
is like a main part of your character.
The Imperial testing sites and stuff. It's like in the film, it's one scene, and it really just two rooms, the hallway and like that room where they get like locked in, and there's the guy with the las gun trying to like punch through the door. And then so Dune Awakening, they had to take that and then turn it into like what is mainly like the main
Like
the main dungeon
content.
type. Yeah, the main dungeon content for like the entire game. And it works. Like, it works really well. That team, that art team is really good.
And then you have the first
And
Halo remake.
The drip.
The drip, yeah.
Oh. I've never given a shit about like cosmetics and like alternate color schemes in games before. Dune Awakening made me commit to like several weeks of just horrible grinding just to get the color different color swatches for my armor, and my god was it worth it.
Then you have the Halo remaster from 2010, 2011. And it's just like here's some random garbage we made for the Forerunners. Here's the Halo Reach Covenant ship models. There's no cohesion between this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run out of life here.
But at least they had the decency of adding the toggle button like right there on the controller.
No, that's the good part of that remaster, but it also exposed that there was an upper limit to like what could be done when you can't touch the underlying game.
Yeah.
Which is why when they're remaking CE, they're like, if we want to, you can't just slap a physics engine onto Halo CE and be like, look, we updated the physics. Like, kind of have to make a new game. Same with like the lighting and what. So it's like that's the origin of the remake, and then.
Well, I think the origin of the remake was testing Unreal 5.
Yeah. Kind of like how we didn't say it in the video, but Blades was very obviously Bethesda testing Unity.
Yeah.
Seeing like what can we make out of the. But also, it's just.
I was debating throwing that in, but I was like, I would really like to have like a quote to substantiate that.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a joke with when I do Halo CMake video about remaking Halo 1 is like the sign that you're about to get fired as CEO. Because Don Matrick did it, and look what happened. Phil Spencer did it, look what happened. Reaper 3 using Halo Reach as a basis for literally every one of their games is insane. It So like it makes sense if they were Bungie, because that's what Bungie would do. You know, with Halo 2, it's Halo 1. With Halo 3, it's Halo 2. You know, ODST is 3, Reach was 3. Like, it makes sense to fork it that way, but
A command post is no longer
it
under
ends up
Empire
being
control.
flawed.
Well, it's just funny that they're still reusing some of the assets, or at least reusing like the aesthetic, even if they remake the asset. It's still like, yeah, that's the Halo Reach Scorpion. Hasn't changed in like 4 games now.
Yeah, Rebolivion, you know, it's the whole package. With Halo CE, it's like, you need everything. Halo's always going to be the game that we come back to when we're playing Xbox. Be like,
A command post is under
chip
Imperial
away another level at it, because we're on like Assault in the control room. But I'm looking forward to talking about it. I want to talk about Sprint. I want to talk about how Sprint represents resentment at 343. Because it's like, you really want me to believe, I know it sounds plausible, but you really want me to believe that test audiences just can't handle pressing the shift key and having nothing happen. We got to have a sprint that does nothing, or else.
I can believe it. It'd be the same test audience that told the developers that High Guard was going to be a success.
Yeah. Yeah, all this catering to modern audiences, and then like, let's see how well CMake does.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite had the opportunity. COD had a bad year. Battlefield had a bad year. And
yeah, there's it's going to be another 10 years before Halo gets another opportunity like that.
I hope they don't get another opportunity like that. They need to retire the franchise.
I mean, it's fucking NBC might own the rights to Halo in a few in a couple years.
under Empire control.
Working on the turret. They're all over.
Are the rebels even trying? Like, this seems like a canonical Hoth battle.
Like at this point, I don't even know what they could do to win me back over to Halo. That franchise has been so thoroughly killed for me.
Well, the weird thing with the CMake was the logic that I heard when the idea was pitched to me was,
Command post for
we're gonna have 2 Halo projects. There's gonna be the remake of Halo 1, and then there's gonna be a multiplayer only project. I think it's called like Escherum or something, right? And that'll let us cater to both audiences. We'll make a authentic Halo 1 for the old fans, and then we'll make a multiplayer game for the new fans.
What's funnier is that the CMake is literally reusing Reach's engine for its AI. Many of its quirks are still there, like Elites and their 3-frame punch.
Well, you know, really, Bungie was the one that killed Halo.
My,
You see, there's this
it
map where
really
the
is.
Forerunner architecture is really bad, and it's like, well, yeah, that was 343's contribution. They made that map pack.
It really is incredible that like 343 kind of hasn't made anything original for this in any of their games. It's just
Because
been like,
everything
it'd be like
original
if
they
I
tried to
was
do
trying to
sucked.
make. It's like if I was trying to make a video game right now, and it's just like I don't have the skills to, make models and animations and stuff from scratch. So it's like, all right, I'm just gonna like hit bash a bunch of like content from different games, different assets from different games,
Yeah.
and like that's the only way I'm gonna be able to make this game. And that's basically how 343 has functioned for the entirety of its existence. It's just incredible that this company continues to get the ability to make games when they've literally demonstrated that they are incapable of making games.
I think what's crazy about it is the discourse surrounding it. People still play Battlefield? Yeah. Why wouldn't they? Battlefield fans are weird in that like they'll see the game go below like 1 million players and be like, "See, it's dead."
Yeah.
It's like
Which is funny because it's like that's one of the few remaining like large shooter games that can actually live on with a very small fan base because they have dedicated servers, and like that's kind of ingrained in the Battlefield community, is that sort of flexibility and stuff, that sort of freedom. But if it's not doing Call of Duty numbers, suddenly the game's dead, and it's just like, bruh.
Yeah, Battlefield 2042 was like a bad year for them, and it still didn't kill their franchise.
Yeah.
I do like the constant like bottom of the screen pop-ups. I wonder if I could turn those off. I was gonna say, do I need a constant reminder of like, you can double jump by pressing A twice?
The command post is no longer under Confederacy control.
Listen, Halo CE was a bad game. It killed the first-person shooter.
Yep. No, but Bungie were the villains all along. They literally killed the
That's my
gaming
favorite
industry.
attack vector is, how do we defend the new stuff? I know. Let's blame it on the old stuff.
Well, it's it's great because it assumes that there's been no independent thinking ever since the old thing happened. It's just like, yeah, no, this is just the natural progression of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
My fun
the
little
gaming industry, Halo Infinite had to happen because Halo 1 happened. Like that's just the natural progression. You connect all the dots, that's where it leads.
Halo Reach had sprint. There's obviously no difference. So, I don't even believe these people are, like, human.
No, at this point, I just assume anybody I disagree with on the internet are bots.
It would be funny if they went to if Xbox went to NBC and like suddenly the botnet stopped defending them online.
Yeah, who's paying for the botnet? Is that Microsoft or is it Xbox?
That's Microsoft. Like that's a perk of being under that umbrella, is that like you get the botnet to defend your game for you.
Yeah, to AstroTurf your marketing campaign.
Huh, it's weird. Nobody said in a while. You know what I really liked about The Outer Worlds was that it was 20 hours. Nobody said that in a while. Nobody's had that take lately. The damnedest thing, that take was only popping up when they were advertising The Outer Worlds 2.
Which is weird because The Outer Worlds 2 is like 60 plus hours long. It's too long. I wish it was 20 hours.
Yeah, just because it's bad. It was cemented to me as a real thing when, like, after the trailer for the remake, when they showed that Sprint was finally going to happen. After that, but before the demo, there was this time period where there was a leak that came out, and Halo was suddenly back in the discourse for like a day, and none of those like bootlickers showed up to talk about Halo. None of the because the botnet wasn't spun up that day. Like, Microsoft wasn't running the bots to do Halo marketing at that point. So like there was just this absence of Halo fans in quotes, to defend the game because it was not on the cycle. It was an off-cycle news story. That's when it became transparently obvious that the Pro 343 consensus is literally manufactured. Which, again, it's crazy. It's crazy that we have to argue with bots on the internet over a fucking console sci-fi shooter. It should just be cool, okay? Halo is a cool game. I like having all of the Halo games on my shelf because it's cool. I know what I'm getting when I just throw it in my console and play it for a bit.
Yeah.
It's like, I think Half-Life is a better first-person shooter, but you gotta lock in to play Half-Life.
Yeah, you can't just like boot up and play like
An
Assault on the
hour.
Control Room.
Yeah.
Showa, take him out!
But like when you actually sit down to play Half-Life, like I think it ends up being a better experience.
Mm-hmm.
Command post is under hostile control.
What's that? Games having niche appeals?
Captured a command post.
And so
Different games for different players and different times and different moods and we need to make a live Surface game that appeals to everybody.
I keep seeing the Half-Life 2 for Xbox at the game store calling out to me like the fucking Green Goblin mask. I'm like, you're curious what's going to be in this box.
I have a confession to make. I've never actually like finished any of the Half-Life games.
You should like find a weekend where you can just lock in and like immerse yourself in it.
Yeah. I'd start with one. I'd probably play the Black Mesa remake as well.
Yeah, that's an alright to do it. I love Half-Life mechanically though.
Mm-hmm.
And I even like the visual aesthetic of, you want to talk about like liminal spaces in video games. The original Half-Life Black Mesa art direction is amazing.
Yeah.
For the era it came out in and what have you, like that is a game that can be glazed endlessly.
Maybe one day. I'll do a video on it.
Sometimes you can just play games and not make videos about it.
He says the guy who never takes a vacation.
Yeah. But I do play games
doing that with
not on the
Forza.
channel.
I'm doing that with Forza Horizon 6. I'm almost done with that game. Like,
What defines being done with like a game like Forza?
you know the collection journal?
Yeah.
I have it almost completed.
Okay.
I'm on the last grind, which is collecting all the cars. Which isn't even that hard. I have most of the hard to get cars already. I just have to sit there and make enough money to then buy the rest of them. Which is also not very hard.
I was about to die to that grenade.
I told myself I wasn't going to do this, but I just kept kind of wanting to play Forza Horizon, so I was like, I guess I'm going to do this then. Some of those, like those challenges and stuff, you know, like the stunt challenges and the speed traps and everything, you just get the meta car with the meta, like, loadout or tune, whatever. And those things become so trivial. I was lit- I
That
was
was
doing
kind
like
of
this.
my problem with that game.
I was doing the speed ones, and it was like it was taking me longer to fast travel to them than it. And bear in mind, I have this game installed on an SSD. It's taking me longer to fast travel to them than it was to actually do them. So I was just like, yeah, I have like the Mazda with the stupid grippy wheels, and I can go like 200 something miles an hour and like take turns at like not joking 150 miles an hour. That game has a weird appeal. But I mean, the main appeal is that like they
The command
nailed
post has
the
fallen to
thing
our
that was
enemies.
most important,
Our
which was
reinforcements are
making the
thinning.
cars look pretty.
The bike trek wasn't a vacation. I did that for work. Are you kidding? A vacation means that I'm not doing it as part of my job. So it's
Yeah.
like, when I went down to get the TV, that was part of my job. I was doing that to facilitate getting a television. A vacation is you go to a place and you don't do work there.
Our reinforcements are thinning.
Oh, just admit it. You turn everything into a workation so you can write it off on your taxes
Hmm.
at the end of the year. I actually found out. I was talking to my brother. He's an accountant and stuff, and he was telling me he was basically telling me that I've actually been under expensing my business expenses, particularly travel. He was like, yeah, like the way you do that is you take their rate
Gamorrean guard,
for
take them
travel
down.
per mile. It's like 50 something cents per mile. It's like, oh, you drove 3,000 miles for work? Okay, that's, 1,500 miles for work times whatever the rate is and stuff, and that's what your write-off actually is.
Have we seen the
Like,
Paul
oh.
Tassi video where he says that Destiny 2 was rarely profitable?
I'm surprised there was ever a point where it was profitable.
I can just imagine it because Bungie was always like, they always had like what sounded like absurd team sizes.
Yeah. I
And
think they also got trapped in that our success is guaranteed, so we're just going to take what we made and just reinvest it, just build up the team more and more. Also, they did have like a lot of investors as well that they had to keep paying out over the years. So that certainly doesn't help.
being one of the most greedy companies in the games industry just to not make a profit. It would be like finding out that like Rockstar wasn't making money on GTA Online.
Yeah. No, it's like the argument that I've made with Destiny for like this entire time where it's like it's obvious the business model is fundamentally not viable. Especially when the biggest play, and that's the funny thing too. It's like, so if Destiny, who is the biggest live service, like they basically built the model that most games are using these days, if they weren't
If they weren't able to make it
profitable,
work.
yeah, like
But
how the
how much of that was like organizational inefficiency though? Because
yeah,
what I
I
heard
mean,
was that it was
yeah,
a lot of like they were funding like projects that people were working on that just didn't go anywhere.
yeah,
It was like, yeah, that's true because Marathon. Like one of those projects ended up becoming Marathon, and it was like, oh yeah, let's put all of our eggs into the extraction shooter basket.
well, it is just funny because it's like you have people taking the advice from the guy who browses r/piss drinking.
Justin Truman,
Yeah.
you can make a live service too.
Did we talk about the Bungie layoffs and everything?
No.
Yeah, because that happened. The whole entire Destiny 2 team getting axed before they were even able to finish their last hotfix.
Was it,
Justin Truman gone with them.
yeah, Justin Truman getting kicked out was like a funny one.
Yeah.
He was like, well, good riddance. Did security manhandle him out the door? Like,
Well, okay, so apparently a lot of the people who left during that period were just waiting for their buyout period so that they could like divest. So that's probably what happened in Truman's case. He probably sold and like cashed out. But at the same time, it's like, how valuable can that even be when you're selling out when the company's like about to die?
that's the big creature comfort, is that like he didn't make as much money as he could have because
Yeah.
it was rarely profitable, and his stock option ended up not even being worth much.
Yeah.
Like he didn't get to cash out at like the peak of Marathon's success because Marathon wasn't successful.
Yeah. He wasn't like Bobby Kotick who got to cash out like at the best possible time.
Bobby Kotick is so grossly wealthy because of just incompetence. Did you ever watch Jim Sterling?
Yes.
There was a video recently about his downfall. And so people were discussing like, was he ever right? Because that's always what happens. Like, if you
A
ever
story as old as time.
if you ever have a mental breakdown, people suddenly start questioning if you were right all along. It was like, yeah, he was right, absolutely. He was, calling out like the greed of these business practices way before anybody else was. I think part of what drove him crazy was that, he started calling this shit out in like 2010, and it took people like more than half a decade to catch up with him
Yeah.
in terms of calling out this greed.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, of course he went fucking crazy. Like, he was just constantly being treated like he was an insane person for saying these battle passes are going to lead to like a worse industry.
Yeah.
So,
The
don't.
Microsoft PsyOps got him.
Yeah, I remember. I was watching him when he was on Escapist. I wasn't familiar with him before that point, and then after he moved to YouTube, I kind of stopped watching him. So that's like a period of like 2 years that I was like, oh, I'm gonna go over to the Escapist and watch. I'm gonna watch Zero Punctuation and Jimquisition, and then I'm gonna see what crazy shit Movie Bob said this week. Because there was Movie Bob was there too. What a crazy lineup. So, and then Jimquisition would be talking about like, yeah, I think the monetization of Dead Space 3 was really bad. It's like, well, I'm glad somebody's calling it out. No, he was wrong. He was wrong because he transitioned into a woman, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
So now he's wrong.
It's like, what was the last Dead Space game? Oh, a remake of the first one?
Command post under enemy control. Reinforcements are being depleted.
Yeah, the one with the trans bathrooms. I wonder a lot about how much of that stuff is like industry plants. You throw a trans bathroom in like the Dead Space remake, so that's all people talk about, and then like people don't bring up anything else because they're busy having like a culture war argument about bathrooms.
Yeah, it's like mispronouncing a word in the beginning of your 12-hour-long video.
You just drive up engagement that way. We should start a consulting company, and we'll get people to like avoid actually criticizing a game by drawing everything into the culture war. So it's like, well, this game sucks, but I gotta defend it because it's based. The developers are talking about heterosexuality on Twitter, so I gotta defend it, even if it's dog shit.
I think that's our like That's our dark timeline. That's
That's
when we become the villains.
Yeah, so it's either run a game store where you can lounge around and play video games, or become an industry consultant where we tell people how to like manipulate the culture war to avoid actual
Yeah.
criticism. That's the two paths.
Listen, we're hiring. You can hire me to tell you how to make good games, or you can hire me to tell you how to sell really bad video games.
I learned it from watching Phil Spencer.
Okay, here's what you do. You guys got a bot farm? No? Okay, you got to get one of those first off.
Mhm.
I hear there's a bunch of them in like Indonesia and like the Philippines and stuff like that. So get somebody on a plane, get them over there. Go,
You
you
need to
don't leave no paper trails.
divide your
Do everything
community
in
up into
cash if you can.
divide the community up into two sides, and then get the bots to start saying that actually it was the fault of the people that made the games that people like, and that way the counterculture redditors will always buy your product even if it's dog shit because of the discourse. We used to be able to like just point out that this stuff was the case. It was called controlled opposition.
Controlled opposition, false flag operations. All right. I gotta go to the bathroom.
All right.
We've been going for a while, so I think I'm just gonna head off.
Oh yeah, we're almost at 3 hours. I do have to leave early today because our raid day is today instead of on Saturday because of the 4th.
Yeah, fourth. Yeah. What's that? People in your Discord have lives? I don't. I
They
don't
have-
buy it.
They have lives outside of me. So
I don't buy it.
yeah,
Because it sure as shit isn't gonna be you.
happy 4th of July.
I know what you're gonna be doing tomorrow.
Working?
All right, I'm heading out.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody.
See you guys. Loot boxes died and Jim lost a talking point. Shit, that disappeared so fast. And Jim lost a talking point to bring up every week. I don't think Jim was that special. It was obviously right to call out greed. But Jim was special because when he was doing it, he was the only one that was doing it. I mean, okay. He wasn't the only one that was doing it, but he was like the most mainstream voice that was doing it. Everybody else was just like, yeah, I'll buy Dark Souls 2. Fuck it, why not? It took years for people to... And he was like a weekly voice that would bring it up. That's what you have to appreciate. That's what I think is missing. But yeah, I'm not sure what next week is. I'm thinking it's going to be a 360 game because there's a couple I need to knock out. I want to check out Metro 2033 on the CRT, on the new one, since we have an HD CRT. And then I need to play Modern Warfare at some point.